The product that you're about to see me review, the Catalyst Machineworks Shocker Tank, was sent to me by Catalyst Machineworks for this review. They sent me a frame and they sent me a built quadcopter to review. I've not received any money for this review, and Catalyst Machineworks has not had any editorial input or control on the contents of this review before it was released. This is the Catalyst Machineworks Shocker Tank 5-inch. And this is all the proof you need that Catalyst Machineworks does not give a damn what anybody thinks. I built a Catalyst Machineworks Bang God a while back, and I built it heavy. That's my fault, not the frame's fault. That thing weighed about 800 grams, and it flew like a pig, and it inspired me to try to build lighter weight freestyle quads. This thing is heavier than that. I'm not going to tell you the actual weight because I want you to see it how I haven't even flown it yet. I want to see how it flies and judge it on its own merits. But the Catalyst Machineworks like, let's just make it bigger and heavier and tougher and put frickin' 2806.5. These are 7-inch motors. These are not 5-inch motors. Catalyst, what are you thinking? I don't know, but we're going to find out. I'm Joshua Bardwell, and you're going to learn something today, and I don't know, maybe I'm going to learn something today. Let's do it. All right, guys, I am not kidding when I tell you this is my very first flight on this quad. Normally I would do some test flights and get a feel for what I wanted to say and then do a flight where I kind of put it all together. But I really just want you guys to have my honest first impression because this is such a crazy design and the weight of this quad is so unexpected that if they've somehow managed to like defy physics by having a heavy quad with powerful motors and aggressive props that fly, I don't know. You just want to see what's happening. Anyway, enough talking, let's fly. I can already feel that we're higher in the throttle position than on like a lighter quad. That's, I guess, to be expected. They're only 5-inch props, so they're only going to make so much thrust. Even though they're somewhat aggressive props, they're Gem Fan hulky props. It feels like we are closer to 40-45% than the maybe 30% that you would expect. 30-35% on a lighter quad. How does she punch out? Here we go. Gets up there. Let's try and fly it. It hit 3.8 volts. We got a 1050 milliamp hour 6S on here. So not a particularly big battery. Might do better with a larger battery. Oh, had to really get on the throttle there. Yeah, okay, so it's heavy. It's heavy. It's a chunker. Well, you know what let's do? Let's do one of those little pop moves that I like and see how it does. We're really having to push the... Yeah. It's not... It's heavy. It's heavy. Okay. Have to really get on the throttle to do those punches. And it just does not jump up like a lighter quad would. Okay. Okay, well, so you can't defy physics. It's a heavy quad, and even though it's got big honking motors, the fact that it's running on 5-inch props means that there's only so much you're going to get out of it. So instead of trying to see what it isn't, let's try and figure out what it is. Because there is a place in the world for a heavy freestyle quad that's durable as heck. And in my mind, that place is doing smooth, fast lines. The weight of the quad will give it a stability, especially in the wind, that a heavier quad, or that a lighter quad isn't going to have. It's going to take advantage of that without playing to the weakness of not being able to do. Oh, really had to get on the throttle there. Yikes. I got to get used to it. It's got the power, but you have to see it coming. If you're used to a smaller, lighter quad, you are going to tank into the ground on this one. Oh, nice. Feels like I'm flying a freaking DRL quad here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, I really am just not anticipating that well. Oh, oh, some prop wash there, boy. It did not like that. I had to bail out of that move. It did not like that. I don't know what about that move it didn't like. It's doing okay here. It's not going crazy on the prop wash. The handling is not the best. I feel like these motors should be doing better. Catalyst Machineworks has a tune on this, but I feel like with the motors this big on 5-inch props, there's no reason to have really any prop wash. So it's heavy. It doesn't have particularly long flight time, but what it's supposed to be good for is durability. So let's think of a durability challenge, and I think I have one in mind. This is stupid. I want to hit this going backwards. Well, surely I won't succeed at that. I know. Of course I won't succeed at it. That's the point, isn't it? I mean, I did go through, technically. Was I going backwards the whole way, though? I mean, that one might count. Let's do it again, though. Okay, well, I guess I got that trick. What's next? So we've established that I can fly through there. Now let's see if I can power loop maybe into it. Like so. We're gonna go like this. And then through it. Okay, what do you say? Let's see how we do that. Oh! Yeah. So what do you want, son? What can I do? What can't I do, mother flipper? Now that you've seen how the Shocker Tank flies, let's take it back to the bench and just take a look at it. You know, here's a naked version of the frame that's not built up that we can get a closer look at. And I think most of the things that I'm going to say about this are the same things I've been saying about Catalyst Machineworks frames since my review of the Banggood. Compare the design of any Catalyst Machineworks frame to something like the FPV Cycle Glide. FPV Cycle Glide is this Spartan frame where Kebab has whittled away every single unnecessary part of the frame, and you've got this very simple, refined, not just like, there it is. Clearly a lot of thought has gone into it, but there's just nothing there that doesn't need to be there. Catalyst Machineworks goes a very different direction in their designs. Just as much thought and refinement goes into these designs as FPV Cycle, but you're going a different direction. I almost think that Catalyst Machineworks frames are kind of like supercars. Here's what I mean. If you watch somebody like on YouTube review a supercar, oftentimes supercars are made fiddly and complicated in ways that almost make them harder to use just because they want to stand out and be different and just show that their designers are out there doing stuff. And it feels that way sometimes with the Catalyst Machineworks frames. The basic bones of this design are very good. The similarities to the Remix are explicit. They're acknowledged. Neil Whiteley acknowledges in his build video of this frame that he was inspired by the Remix. The Remix was not the first to do a design with motors on top. There have been other designs like that. Maybe even going back to the Immersion RC Vortex kind of had a similar design. So say what you will about that. Certainly one of the advantages I found with this frame that I didn't expect was that having the motors on top and the electronics on bottom means that you could turtle mode out of the grass easier. Your props are usually clear, at least as long as they're right side up. If you're upside down, then, well, if you're upside down, then you still have the battery. So this is actually a great frame for turtle moding out of problems. As far as the flight characteristics go, I feel like PID controllers and motors today are pretty dominant, and there aren't great differences in flight characteristics for like a top mount versus a bottom mount for the motors being in the in higher up or lower down. I don't think there's huge differences there. Maintainability of this frame is way better than some Catalyst Machineworks frames. Same as my review of the Shocker 4-inch though. Basically you've got an opening here for the electronics, and you've got the air unit or Vista here. They have this 3D printed shelf that the air unit attaches to. This can carry a full-size air unit. The one that they built for me, they stuck on with double-sided tape, and it started to pull off by the time I was done crashing it. I would back that up with some zip ties, but that'd be easy enough to add. Just a lot of thought and refinement that goes into this. It does look like it's a little bit easier to maintain than the 4-inch version, just because it's a little roomier, but the basics of the build are the same. As far as weight goes, the frame comes in at 155 grams, at least as built here. That is with the front brace on it, but without like battery pad, without some of the accessories you might have. So 154 grams is a real porker. And that brings us to the question, who is this frame for? And I actually asked Catalyst Machineworks that because we know that Catalyst Machineworks can build a freestyle frame. We know they can build a racing frame, and we know they build a lot of custom-made, ready-to-fly quads. So they know what people are asking for. But the choices made with this frame are so unusual that I just wanted to know what was going on in their mind. Why a 2806 motor? That's a 7-inch prop motor, not a 5-inch prop motor. Why 154 grams for the frame? Even if you look at heavy, durable frames, they typically come in maybe closer to 140, 145. This is just a whole nother deal. And what Catalyst said, what Neil Whiteley said, was that they're thinking more about, they're not thinking about a flippy floppy freestyle frame with this. They're thinking more about a big, heavy cruiser, a high-speed cruiser, doing a little bit more cinematic stuff, or sort of smooth, flowy lines. Some people like the weight of a heavier freestyle quadcopter for sort of flingy moves, but suffice it to say, you're just not going to get flippy Mr. Steel style freestyle on a build like this. That's just not who it's for. As I contemplate this, I almost think this would be better as a 6-inch build than a 5-inch build. And I don't think they have 6-inch arms for this. At least I didn't see them on the Catalyst Machineworks website. It would be trivial for them to make them. I feel like by the time the weight of the quad gets up into the 900-ish gram, 800, 900 gram range, 5-inch props just can't make enough thrust to really make the quad fly like it should. You have to over KV the motor, and so now they've gone to these big heavy motors. And one of the justifications they had for the big heavy motors was that on the big heavy quads, you need that motor to get that torque. But now you're spinning this little prop with this giant motor. You need the KV to be through the roof, and things just get really inefficient. I feel like a 6-inch prop would give you the kind of thrust you need to move a 900 gram quadcopter with authority. The big motors, maybe not 2806, maybe something in like the 2506, 2504 size, something in that size, would give you plenty of authority on a 6-inch prop, and you would need a bigger battery to help feed those motors and those props, but they could do it. Anyway, that's my take on this. Thank you so much to Catalyst Machineworks for sending me this quadcopter to review, and thanks to Catalyst Machineworks, as always, for pushing the bounds of FPV quadcopter frame design. There's a link to this down in the video description if you want to check it out. Catalyst Machineworks will just build you one of these, where you can build it yourself. There's links down there. They are affiliate links, and that means that if you use those, if you click that link, then make any purchase at Catalyst Machineworks, I get a little commission, and Catalyst Machineworks knows you sent me, and that certainly is helpful. What do you think? What do you think of this one? I think this is going to be very polarizing. There's going to be people out there who love it. There's going to be people out there who want to fly a 650 gram quad who are going to think it's a terrible waste. But I want to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comments. I read most of my comments, maybe not all of them. but I would really like to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Happy flying.
You guys, I don't know where I am, and I don't know what's going to happen, but if I don't make it out of this, I just want to know that you subscribe to my channel, or maybe join my Patreon, or click one of these videos I picked out for you.